Our hypothesis as researchers was that our initial text mining would yield more specific word usage pertaining to disease, such as our group found in the mining and analysis of the Bible. However, this was not the case in application of the text mining tools we found. Initially, the text mining of the Quran was done through Voyant. These yielded findings in words pertaining to health, wellness, and disease such as sickness, death, sin, and heart. In fact, our most significant result was the way sickness was conceptualized on the part of believers, non-believers, and those in between. One of the primary questions we wanted to answer in analyzing the Quran was if religious texts related to the morals that were important during the time that they were written. Through our secondary text mining of the instances that sickness, as seen below, we were able to do more in-depth analysis that conveyed to us that the morality or disposition of a person was connected to a person's health.
This led to our understanding of sickness or one's level of wellness/health as testaments to the strength of an individual's faith or a punishment for their lack thereof. IslamReligion.com states that, quote, when illness or injury strikes, the reason may not be apparent, or perhaps even beyond our understanding. However, God wants only good for mankind. We can therefore be sure that there is great wisdom behind the affliction and that it presents us with the opportunity to develop a closer relationship with God, end quote. The site, dedicated to the religion of Islam, goes on to clarify, quote, Prophet Muhammad, may the mercy and blessings of God be upon him, informed us that we will be tested according to our level of faith and that the very least good that will come from these tests will be purification from sins. He said, a man will be tested according to the level of his religious commitment, and the trials will keep affecting a slave of God until he is left walking on the face of the earth with no burden of sin whatsoever, end quote. In the first surah of the Quran, it exemplifies this connection of morality and faith in stating, quote, in their hearts is a sickness, and God has increased their sickness, and there awaits them a painful chastisement for that they have cried lies.
First, we would like to provide a visualization wherein heart has been mined for in the text. Secondly, in mining for heart in the text, we noted that sickness is almost always mentioned in the verse, suggesting that an ailment of the heart is manifested of sickness, or straying from the revelations of God. Further, our analysis of sickness continued to suggest that those in whose heart is sickness, them it has increased in abomination, and added to their abomination, they have died while they were unbelievers. And that is straight from the Quran. This reading states that to be non-believers and to not have the revelations of God in one's heart can lead to literal death. In Islam, there is the overall belief and statement that God created a cure for every ailment to humankind, and there are two approaches, a fatalist and active approach to medical treatment. Some would suggest that the total belief and prayer will heal someone of their ailments. The latter approach is that with faith and an active role in one's own health care with the resources provided by God, one could be cured. Yet, through the same interview with Dr. Khalil of the MSU Muslim Studies program, he reiterated that one's health in the Quran was oftentimes internalized as a test of one's faith in God or as a punishment for the lack of belief in God. Dr. Khalil provided the parallel of the plagues on the Egyptians. The plagues, which included physical harm to the well-being of the Egyptians, is also represented in the Quran and exemplifies illness as a form of punishment. In this translation of the Quran, punishment is most commonly used as a chastisement. Mining the text displays the concept of chastising believers and non-believers shows up 307 times, which outnumbers the number of pages in the text itself.
Therefore, in this particular analysis of this particular translation of the Quran, we can see that the ways that sickness is being conceptualized on the part of the translator and then being conveyed to the reader is that sickness is a metaphor for the ways that an individual or follower of the faith can either hold religious/moral beliefs in their quote-unquote heart. And that is to say that the ways that sickness is being internalized is either someone believes and truly holds the words of God, which is the Quran, in their hearts and therefore is not sick, or because somebody is an unbeliever and does not truly hold the words of God in their hearts, then that is a manifestation or metaphor for their holding of sickness in their bodies. And while that is not our primary overall findings, there are secondary and tertiary findings that will be elaborated on the website itself. We believe that is the most important.